Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very, very wonderful, blessed day and a very much great day indeed. As you can see, guys, the gardening people exactly are here, so they already exactly did their gardening part, and I just exactly released Universe from the house in order for her to go back outside and remain outside. But if they exactly do exactly come back, guys, you have to forgive me for the disturbance. I exactly have to go outside and also get her inside again if that exactly happens. These guys are literally unpredictable, literally so much unpredictable, guys. And my brother might exactly be coming in at any time and any cost. So don't the noise of the door will be just be him exactly coming in because he arrives very very early these days, and they're quietly finishing with their writings and all of that. But despite that, guys, I'm very grateful for your support in viewing and watching my episodes. It gratefully means a lot to me, completely. As you can see, the sky is quietly beautiful and very, very quietly hot today. It's very, very quietly hot today indeed, guys. It's in completely very hot. Anyway, on today's episode, we're to speak about Time Boy, who is a superhero and a member of the Universal Heroes who are willing to restore sacred peace and balance and harmony to the sacred world and to planet Earth and to the rest of sacred existence and to the supernaturals, aliens, and superhumans and the known worlds and the known planets of the sacred universe and of the known universe as well in the process, so we can get to it. In Time Boy's early life, he was born on an alien planet known as Timeless, which was a very big and beautiful planet. Was exactly born, which was a very big and beautiful planet. Its atmosphere was so beautiful. It has about 12 moons and many moons and many thousands of stars. Time Boy's race and his kind or his people were quite the gifted with the ability of with the quietly gifted with the ability and power to manipulate time and also time and to manipulate time and also controlling hours and minutes and anything else. They even had the ability of creating powerful technology, which has the ability of creating a watch, which they exactly granted the watch and the technology watch with the ability of stopping and freezing time and freezing time in hours in a matter of any minutes. During at the time Tampa was quietly born, and so was his sister. And during at the time his grandfather was also quietly born as well, but he was quietly sentenced to Earth many years ago. During at that time, Tambo was quietly born among his people and his race, as he learned that his people have the ability and the creativity to creating wonderful technologies and gifted technologies which could exactly help restore the sacred world back to its golden age and also back to its age of peace and harmony at the time as well, in order to stop the forces of evil at that rate. Within that time, Time Boy's home world, known as Planet Timeless, was invaded by unknown alien invaders who exactly decided to destroy the planet and the rest of its civilization. Time Boy's parents exactly sent Time Boy straightly into the future so he can successfully remain there, while the other races of Time Boy's people exactly fought back against the invaders. Time Boy successfully watched his home world being decimated and being destroyed completely by the unknown invaders who destroyed it with a powerful devious machines and with a powerful devious machines and also weapons in the process, and they completely decimated the planet and completely destroyed it in a process. And Time Boy was completely very much hurtful and very much hurtful and very much quite completely heartbroken as a portal opened within outer space. He was completely transported within the future, and he was completely raised by another superhuman who completely took him as a grandchild and decided to exactly take good care of him and decided to raise him, taught him the ways of fighting in hand-to-hand combat and the ways of swordsmanship and the ways of hacking and the ways of becoming a hacker and also the ways of becoming a student and the ways of living a normal human life by exactly Timers, known Time Boy's real name is known by Timers, which is exactly Timers. Timers exactly knew that wasn't exactly his real life or his real given purpose, since he has great powers and great abilities and he possesses a very ancient technological watch that is the ability of stopping time and projecting energy and power as well. During at that time, the superhuman who quietly raised him and exactly took care of him decided to educate Time Boy on the sacred world's conflict and wars and possibility that could exactly change the outcome of process exactly taken place in order for him to save the rest of sacred existence. And Time Boy himself exactly decided into looking to into the sacred world's history and everything else. He learned about the original world of magic and about his followers and about his proteges, and he learned so much about the Harvikan Core and about Lord Justin and about the Shadow Empire and about the Red Empire and about all the other empires and about the Universal Heroes and the World Heroes and the Universal Space Heroes and the Universal Defending Heroes and also the Universal Founders as well and the United Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition. Time Boy learned in given time that the future of the sacred galactic war and the knowledge that he exactly possesses will rest on him in order to deliver it straightly to the Universal Heroes in the present past, in the present, not in the future, in the present, which was quite in a different time period and in a different stage of it. So Time Boy exactly realized that he has to travel back in time in order to make sure that what exactly resulted happening in the future cannot exactly result it to happen in the present, which has to be prevented by any given cost at any given time. Which he exactly likely took it upon himself to make sure that this information will be delivered to his allies and to his friends as well and to his colleagues and to making sure that his parents' memory will not exactly fade away. As for the rest of his species, as for the rest of his kind, who are a peaceful race of aliens and a very peaceful race of aliens and who believed in living in harmony and in coexistence with the supernaturals and aliens and superhumans in the process. The superhuman exactly gave Time Boy a teddy bear, which was like a toy thingy, and Time Boy exactly took the teddy bear as a toy and exactly took up his watch and his stasis pod and exactly transported himself straightly directly to the future, and he transported himself straightly directly into the present past, where he was able to exactly return there on the on the 2nd of March, Time Boy exactly arrived on the present past, where he was able to exactly introduce himself to the Universal Heroes and exactly told Universal Man that he's an ally and also a member and also wanting to become a member of the Universal Heroes. Universal Man and the other members of the Universal Heroes did not quietly take him seriously. They successfully viewed him as a threat and they successfully used their abilities and powers in order to neutralize him. During at that time, Time Boy exactly told them that they'll be facing a superhuman menace or a very powerful ancient evil monster that's exactly created by an unknown force of evil, which is successfully able to stop. Which the Universal Heroes scanned the rest of the sacred cities and the rest of the human cities and founded an ancient monster, a mentally monster that was quietly rampaging on the loose. And Time Boy decided in order to intervene in order to save the people of the city as well in the process, which he successfully able to do so with the help with the help of the members of the United Heroes, with the help of the other members of the United Heroes, such as Planet Man and United Men exactly work together in order to defeat the metal monster that was quietly sent by an unknown force of evil and successfully able to save it. At that time as well, Time Boy exactly proved himself to the Universal Heroes, stated that he's an ally and also a friend, and is willing to exactly help them put an end to the war, putting an end to the sacred galactic war and a conflict by any means necessary by taking down the biggest, baddest bad guys ever existed throughout sacred history and one of the most formidable foes and adversaries as well. Universal Man correctly shaked Timers his hand, stated that he's forever now. He's forever now a member of the Universal Heroes, just for the time being until they can exactly figure out exactly what they can precisely do with him at the time. On the on the on the 15th of March, Time Boy and the rest of the other World Hero members was specifically exactly watching statues of the other fallen heroes and their other fallen hunters. And Time Boy specifically told the other members of the other heroes exactly why would they be watching statues of the other fallen heroes when their statues could be safely exactly put out throughout the sacred world and throughout the rest of sacred history. The other heroes exactly told them that the sacred world is a very secretive world that's meant to be hidden and that's meant to be kept hidden from its wars, from humanity, and from all of that. And the fallen heroes and the other fallen heroes and the other fallen heroes or the other ancient sacred heroes don't exactly have to be revealed and want to be well known throughout the rest of humanity and throughout the rest of humanity and throughout the rest of the human world, especially to the enemies and foes and adversaries as well. Tommen completely exactly remarked that that's exactly the same thing that exactly happened to his people and to his kind, able to exactly keep the secrecy of the sacred world, able to keep the secrecy of the sacred galactic war into full secrecy, and also to protecting it from any sinister threats and foes and enemies as well. On the on the 20th on the 20th of March, Time Boy and Harbican Boy were precisely exactly working together with the abilities and everything else until they were successfully ambushed by a team of supervillains who gladly exactly took them down and who gladly exactly able to exactly take them down. By Time Boy successfully gained the upper hand and successfully exactly saved Harbican Boy, and they were successfully able to return to the home base of their headquarters and told Universal Man that they were heavily tracked by a group of supervillains and also by Jacob Shadow, and also by Jacob Shadow, who's now the protege of the Universal Prince as well. And the Universal Man told them that they brought an alien technology device strictly at their central and at their headquarters, meaning that it was quite a big mistake, a very, very big mistake as well. The supervillains completely invaded the headquarters of the Universal Heroes and completely took them off by surprise. Time Boy successfully fought against the villains, but it was quickly overpowered and overmatched, and was completely unconscious until he was quietly shipped off to the spaceship of the supervillains and watched as the Universal headquarters base was completely destroyed and heavily decimated within his very eyes as well. On the 29th, on the 29th of March, Time Boy completely woke up in a stasis pod, woke up completely in a stasis pod, and realizing exactly where he is or where he successfully is. And he realized that there were two powerful scientists standing there and exactly monitoring his vitals and everything else and studying his powers completely until the Universal Heroes exactly invaded and ambushed and they ambushed the entire ship and raided the entire ship and released all the abducted aliens and superhumans, and Time Boy completely exactly raced in order to save Harbican Boy, which is successfully able to do so. He told Harbican Boy that the Star Empire cannot successfully exactly wield such traumatic power and such disturbing powers at the cost of exactly destroying more worlds and more planets and more civilization in order to expand its ruling and borders and conquering worlds and planets, and at the cost of destroying them and also harvesting, and that the war between the Star Empire and the Shadow Empire should not successfully taking place at any given cost and at any given rate, no matter what, successfully. On the second of April, the Time Boy was quietly, completely relaxing with the other members or with the other abducted aliens and with the other abducted aliens, and so as they were successfully questioning about the abduction and everything else to the members of the United Heroes, and doing at this by Time Boy was completely unreluctant and very much quietly and eager in order to successfully hear exactly what was happening as well. On the 4th of April, Time Boy and the other members of the World Heroes completely exactly went on an undercover mission to investigate the sacred factories of the Star Empire, which successfully able to do completely unable to unaware that Mr. X was completely monitoring the activities and also their work. They completely took everything else up until one of the Star Warlord exactly completely appeared out of nowhere and decided to fight against the young operatives, which they were successfully able to do. Tambo and the other heroes exactly gave up everything else they had to stop the Star Warlord, who was completely able to slow them down in the operation, and they were successfully able to evade him. But in due time, the Star Warlord completely found them and completely successfully able to exactly pin them down until Starboy completely appeared out of nowhere and able to even up the match against the Star Warlord and completely able to destroy him in a process and completely able to successfully taking him down in the process as well. They returned back to the nether base of headquarters, where Starboy was able to tell the Universal Heroes his origin and where he successfully comes from and where he successfully originated from, and he told them that his sole purpose is to stop the Star Empire from conquering more worlds and more civilization, and also to neutralizing the Order of the 12 and the Universal Prince's goals, and also plans from conquering the rest of sacred existence and the rest of the known worlds as well. And the Universal Heroes the Universal Man completely told the member of the Universal Heroes that it's going to take time for them to trust Starboy and also to completely rely on him as well. As successfully, Timeboy completely agreed as well. On the 10th of April, the Universal Heroes and the rest and the rest of the world heroes were quite completely listening to Starboy's explanation as he told, as Starboy exactly explained, and as Starboy completely explained to the Universal Heroes the Star Empire's sole reason and soul conquest and its soul conquest and soul plan from conquering the rest of the galaxy and the rest of the known worlds in order for them to harvest the limited amounts of power known as shadow and known as shadow energy and light energy at the cost of destroying those worlds and the cost of destroying those worlds and enslaving the rest of the other universes and the other worlds. And he completely told them that he completely exactly defected from the organization, from the empire, because he exactly felt the wrong ways and the wrong evil ways as well. Time Boy exactly completely agreed with Starboy as he completely exactly envied him and quality successfully exactly felt bad to him. Universal Man told the members of the Universal Heroes of the meeting has quietly been adjourned that they should exactly recalculate their steps and take more notes what exactly Starboy completely exactly told them. Time Boy and Storm Boy and Hobbiton Boy were all working together as they exactly explained their sole missionary and their purposes, as they successfully had a common goal and a common interest, and they exactly understand their similarities as well, as they completely understand their purposes as well. Despite this, exactly Time Boy exactly told Star Boy he's a completely a member of the Universal Heroes, but he might not successfully able to take time for the Universal Heroes to successfully completely trust him and also rely on him as well. On the 15th of April, a huge armada of warships and battle cruisers entered closely to the solar system as the United Heroes were completely ready in order to stop the sinister threat of the Star Empire, which the Star Warlord exactly refused in order to successfully to stand down. The Universal Heroes were forced to be successfully launched on against the enemy, and they so completely exactly portal themselves straightly into the mothership where they were completely able to fight against the Star Warlord, as the Star Warlord told them, explained his motives to them, that destroying humanity and the planet Earth will prevent any other rogue evil conqueror and any other rogue evil warlord and conqueror, or especially the Shadow Empire from conquering more worlds and more civilization at the cost of doing that. And despite that, the Star Warlord proceeded with his plan in destroying planet Earth and also wanting to destroy planet Earth. The United Heroes completely tried to defeat and overwhelm the fleet of warships and battle cruisers, which they were successfully able to do. But at the time, Havik and Boy completely exactly took the crystal that was completely activating the mothership and completely exactly deactivated the rest of the motherships as well. And the rest of the other Universal Heroes arrived victorious as they completely took down the Star Warlord and successfully exactly reported the success in the victorious battle to the United Heroes and also to Universal Man, stated to them that they've done a very successful job on the 16th. They've done a very much successful job, and the threat has been terminated completely as well. On the 19th, on the 19th of April, the Time Boy and the rest of the other members of the Universal and the rest of the other and Starboy and Hobbiton Boy completely exactly watched the coverage news of humanity as the public was completely explaining why the United Heroes were completely protecting the planet from an unknown fleet of warships, and exactly seeing Mr. X exactly manipulating the public to his own advantage, stating that the United Heroes are completely doing a bang up job and a very much disgraced job. Universal Man told the members of the Universal Heroes and the World Heroes that the disgraced public of what Mr. X is successfully doing is using it to advantage in order to empower himself and to empower the founders as well, to make sure that the news doesn't completely exactly reach to the bad side or to the worst side ever possible. Despite that, Tambor successfully agreed as well that it's time for them to take down the Universal Prince and also the Star Prince as well. Successfully agreed on that tactic as well. Despite this, on the first of May, the World Heroes and Time Boy successfully arrived on an ancient architect temple within a dark planet where Universal Magic Girl and the Universal Heroes were able to conjure up a ritual until the ritual was successfully interrupted by the dark magic users who completely invaded the temple. Despite this, the World Heroes and Time Boy completely defeated the dark magic users and completely apprehended them. Universal Magic Girl was able to decrypt everything else of the ancient architects and all the ancient texture and all the ancient text and the architects and all the ancient knowledge about the ancient energy, dark spell, ultimate power, and she was able to know more about where it could be exactly be held and where it could successfully be kept. Despite this, they successfully defeated the bad guys and completely retreated away. Time Boy explained to Universal Man they were able to decrypt everything else they can to know more about the energy, Darkspell, ultimate power, and Universal Man remarked that's quite completely a victory as well, a very much of a complete victory as well to their mission. On the 6th of May, the Star Empire forces and the Order of the 12 and the Order of the 12 members held up a summit in an ancient world planet where they had everything else under control, where they were able to speaking about their bad results and their bad backfiring results, stated that the Universal Heroes and the World Heroes have completely done the operation, but the Universal Prince blamed the Star Empire warlords and commanders that they didn't exactly do much of a good job to wiping out the Universal Heroes and the World Heroes out of the way completely, which means in other words that they still pose a threat. Despite this, the Universal Heroes appeared from the horizon, said that the ambush was successfully planned by Universal Man and also by Rex and also by Firebird, said that the Order of the 12 has to go down, and the rest of the Star Empire warlords and commanders as well. And Time Boy and the other members reappeared, taking on the bad guys. The Universal Prince told Universal Man that he made a big mistake in underestimating the Universal Hero's abilities, and that it can never happen again. He summoned an army of assassins, an army of mercenaries to kill the Universal Heroes and the World Heroes as well, and to successfully wipe them out and remove them out of the way completely. Time Boy and the other heroes successfully fought against the bad guys and against the rest of the assassins. The Universal Prince completely teleported away, and the rest of the members of the Order of the 12 completely disappeared, and the rest of the other members of the Star Empire, such as the Star Warlords and Commanders, successfully decided to fight against the enemy head on. And the heroes were successfully victorious, as Time Boy told Universal Man and Rex and Firebird and Mind Girl and also Warboy that their planning was gratefully successful and that they managed to do a very successful banger job, that the victory was on their sides as well, completely, and that they done a very banger job. Universal Man stated that the Universal Prince and the Star Prince still pose a greater magnificent threat, and they still quite completely at large. Whatever they're planning is not successfully good, and Time Boy and the rest of the other heroes successfully agreed, but they done a very good job as well. On their return back to the asteroid base of their headquarters, where the United Heroes successfully graduated Time Boy to becoming an official member of the Universal Heroes, and Time Boy was successfully pleased and very happy, stated that he had done a very much good job by protecting humanity, and that he's officially a member of the Universal Heroes and a member of the Universal Heroes as well, an official member and a family member of the Universal Heroes. Firebird completely hugged him, Mind Girl completely hugged him, and the rest of the World Heroes completely hugged him and congratulated him, said that he's officially a member of the Universal Heroes as well. Before that happened, a portal out of nowhere successfully opened up, and the fleet of warships and battle cruisers of the Star Empire successfully went back to the Star Universe, and the Universal Heroes and the members of the United Heroes, some of the members of the United Heroes were completely surprised seeing the fleet of warships teleporting themselves and literally retrieving away completely. Tamba remarked, was that exactly good news or rather bad news completely? On the 1st of June, Mr. X completely took advantage of the press conference, telling the public and humanity that the United Heroes did a bang-up job and a very much quietly worse job, stated to the world heroes, stated to the leaders of the world that these heroes and vigilantes have done nothing more but cause problems and chaos and disturbance, that they successfully have to be neutralized and successfully have to be removed out of the way. Time Boy successfully watched the press conference of Mr. X and told United Men that they have to do something about Mr. X when he's posing a greater legitimate threat to their profile and also to their reputation. United Men told Time Boy to successfully panic when everything else is successfully in order the way it's supposed to be. On the 15th of June, Time Boy and the other members of the World Heroes were completely marked on a mission that Mind Girl successfully needed their help and their services, and successfully teleported on an alien world in order to solve the turmoil and the rift that aliens and supernaturals are completely having, realizing that realizing that the Mind Sisters were the most powerful witches, created a turmoil and created a turmoil and a rift between the other races. Mind Girl completely exactly took on the Mind Sisters, as Tomboy and the others took on the other rogue evil warlords with the rogue evil Shadow Empire warlords commanders and successfully took them down and successfully exactly won the battle. Despite this, they reassured the aliens of the supernatural that this doing was all done by the forces of evil, and by the Mind Sisters who use their telepathic abilities and their psychic abilities in order to manipulate them to do their biddings and also to do their works as well. Despite this, the aliens and the supernaturals exactly shook hands, remarked, and they forgave each other for the screw-ups and also for the mess-ups as well. And despite that, Tamba was completely pleased, and they successfully teleported themselves back to planet Earth, where they're successfully able to return from as well. On the on the 19th on the 19th of June, the members of the United Hero family members were hosting a gathering, and Tamba was completely present, and he saw the members and the families of the United Heroes hosting a superhero gathering, and also all the children as well, and they celebrated to being themselves once again. And Tamba was completely happy that he's been part of a family, and that he's been within a very much of a good family as well. On the 15th of July, Tambo exactly attended a meeting where the world heroes officially decided to announce themselves to the world and to the rest of humanity, telling the universal heroes that they want to make a remarkable difference, and also creating inspiration and bringing inspiration and hope to the rest of humanity, that they can also make a difference and they can also exactly fulfill their dreams and their goals as well. And Time Boy was successfully proud and very pleased of this inspiration, and very very happy, and he completely exactly agreed with the other members of the Universal Heroes that if they want to proceed with that, then the Universal Heroes will gladly support them. On the 16th of July, Tamba completely watched the footage as the world heroes defeated their greatest enemy and their worst foes and the members of the Outer Circle with the destructive technology, and was completely successfully happy as well. On the 1st of August, Tamba completely successfully exactly remained on the asteroid base, monitoring everything else until Universal Man told him that the new threat is now known as the New Law Magic, and also the Order of Power, which is successfully a powerful ancient secret society that is willing to wipe out and exterminate the supernaturals and aliens and superhumans, and even us, the Sacred Heroes and the Universal Heroes and the United Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition and the Universal Space Heroes, the Universal Defending Heroes, and the Universal Founding Heroes as well in the process. Despite this, Tamba was completely shook as the situation is getting worse and worse, and the war is quietly entering its darkest stages as they're now fighting sinister threats and evil forces of evil that are completely rising from the shadows and are willing to successfully undoing their hard work and everything else. Tamba successfully decided in order to help the Intergalactic Coalition further, in order to help them taking down the enemy and all the other sinister threats as well. He completely exactly shook hands with Universal Man that he can successfully able to do that. That would completely mean a lot to him as well. On the 15th of August, Tamba was completely present with the members of the Intergalactic Coalition as the meeting completely exactly taken place. The leader of the Formation Hunter of the Intergalactic Coalition told Time Boy that the Intergalactic Coalition has become compromised, as in compromised, being under the influence of the new Lord of Magic, who's completely placed his influence and his control through some of the members of the Intergalactic Coalition. And Time Boy was completely not happy with this and not successfully pleased with this, meaning that there's a traitor within the Intergalactic Coalition that successfully have to draw him out one way or another exactly. On the 20th of August, Tambo exactly told Universal Man and Firebird that the Intergalactic Coalition has already become compromised and that their new powerful, formidable enemy is the one placing his grip and control. Universal Man exactly told Time Boy that they're facing more sinister threats than the Intergalactic Coalition, that the new forces of evil are successfully rising from the shadows and are willing to exactly do whatever it takes in order to summon an ancient, powerful evil force known as the Fallen, who was successfully banished from another dark dimension in order to remain in imprisonment for his crimes against the rest of sacred existence. Despite this exactly, Tambo decided in order to keep his hands and his ears up and his eyes and ears up in order to know more about the Intergalactic Coalition, which can exactly become the eyes and ears for the Universal Heroes. The rest of the members of the Universal Heroes agree, and they told Tambo to be very careful and very, very, very careful and to watch his back as well. And he successfully agreed as well. On the 1st of September, Time Boy completely exactly waited at the door after the meeting of the Intergalactic Coalition of the Four Nations completely exactly finished, and the leader of the Intergalactic Coalition told Time Boy that the Intergalactic Coalition wanted in order wanted to tell the Universal Heroes in person this, telling them that the Intergalactic Coalition wants to sever ties with the Universal Heroes, that they can successfully fight any sinister threats and any evil forces once and for all. And Time Boy was successfully shocked and very quiet with this please. He spoke to Vogel and Sam Starwood and Hank Starwood, telling them that it's quietly all true, and Sam and Hank Starwood exactly completely confirmed that it's quietly true that the Four Nation Hunters and the rest of the official members of the Intergalactic Coalition want to break ties with the Alliance and the Universal Heroes, and that is not exactly a good thing. The members of the Universal Heroes and of the new Alliance convened on the asteroid base within a conference room on the 20th of September, and decided it's best that they completely exactly trusted allies in order to fight these forces of evil, in order to make sure that they take down the enemy and neutralizing the threat right away. And Time Boy successfully agreed that they need to successfully take down the fight and the war straightly direct the enemy. But Universal Man told them that we're facing several enemies and several adversaries on simultaneous fronts and on different points of the war, which they were successfully unable to expect that or anticipate that. Time Boy exactly told them regardlessly that they should exactly split up their resources and everything else they had in order to take down different enemies and different opponents, and in order to make sure to neutralize their plans and make sure that their plans don't successfully get to bear fruit or anything else, and that the threat has to be successfully neutralized at any other cost. And Time Boy told the members of the Alliance and the members of the Universal Heroes that he'll do whatever it takes to protecting humanity and the rest of mankind by any given means necessary. And they all completely agreed that they'll do whatever it takes to protect mankind and the rest of the supernaturals, aliens, and superhumans, and the rest of the known worlds and the known planets and the sacred world and the sacred universe and the Four Nation Hunters and the other known universes as well in the process. And they all successfully agreed. After the meeting was completely adjourned, Time Boy told Universal Man that he'll be beginning his journey and his mission in order to find out more about these sinister threats and to know more about them, but he was successfully able to return back with rather good news or bad news exactly. And Universal Man told Time Boy to be very careful because things are now taking a dark turn. He feels like the age of darkness is returning again. Despite this, guys, Time Boy is a very, very caring hero and a very, very caring, compassionate hero who cares so much about the Four Nation Hunters and about the rest of his colleagues known as the World Heroes and the Universal Heroes, and is willing to do whatever it takes in order to protect them and to protect the supernatural community and the alien community and the superhuman community and the rest of humanity from all sinister threats, especially taking down their greatest and most formidable enemy, the Universal Prince, the Founders, the Order of the 12, the Order of the 6, the Order of the 7, Sacred 5, the Unholy Alliance, and the Sacred Circle as well, neutralizing these threats and taking them down and making sure that they don't successfully become the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the known universe and of the known universe as well. In that process, he's willing to do whatever it takes in order to neutralize them and in order to take them down completely. Despite this, guys, Time Boy is very, very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, tactician, hacking, great thinker, and a very, very smart strategist, and a very, very smart strategic hero, capable of having super speed and super hearing and super strength, and also invulnerability, and also the power of regenerative healing and the power of manipulating technology and using his technological watch to freeze everything and to freeze time and also to exactly unfreeze time. He is very, very talented with his power, and he decided to use his powers for the greater good. He exactly does this at the best of his heart in order to protecting humanity, so that mankind doesn't exactly make the same mistakes as his people ever did exactly before being invaded by unknown invaders who were eager to destroy his home world and his home planet. Despite this, guys, Time Boy completely cares so much about the rest of humanity and about the rest of the sacred world, and is willing to protect it, and is willing to do whatever it takes to neutralize the greatest enemy known as the New Lord of Magic and the Order of Power and the Star Empire and the Star Prince and the Star Witch Queen by any means necessary, including the Shadow Empire and the Dark Order and Red Bolt as well, to stopping those powerful, pivotal enemies and the forces and the followers of the fallen as well, making sure that they don't rise and ascend into power, to creating chaos and destruction, and also to creating a rift within the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans. In that process, Time Boy is willing to do whatever it takes that the peace and the restoration of the sacred world is returned back to its golden age, no matter what. And he's willing to take down his enemies with the help of his new family members. The Universal Heroes, the United Heroes, the Universal Founders, the Universal Space Heroes, the Universal Defending Heroes, and the Universal Monster Heroes, and the United Heroes, and the Intergalactic Coalition, and the Four Nation Hunters, and the New Alliance as well. Despite that, he's willing to work with them, and he views them as family members and as brothers and sisters, and he views the United Hero elders and leaders as uncles and grandpa, and the Four Nation Hunters as sisters and brothers and as cousins, willing to work with them in order to stop their greatest and most powerful, formidable, common enemy and adversaries and foes as well, from creating destruction and chaos, no matter what. He's very compassionate, very loyal, very caring, and he's very, very smart and very much very, very caring indeed. His true name is Timeless, and he's a boy and a very, very powerful, skillful superhero of an alien. He's a very, very powerful, beautiful alien creature, and he has a sister and a grandpa who lives on planet Earth for many years, and they still exactly do. But his sister doesn't know about the sacred world and the sacred galactic war. That's a story for another day, which I'll able to tell you why. But despite this, guys, that's it for today's episode. I all hope you have a wonderful, blessed evening and a very great day indeed. It is too hot and it's very, very carefully hot. So enjoy your day and enjoy your evening, and God bless you all. Literally, God bless you all. Sharp. As in, sharp.